Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Yes, I sound horrible. Don't mind that. I'm gonna explain that. So today is March 13th. Yesterday I woke up. I went to bed. I was fine. I had nothing, no cough, nothing going on suggested I was going to get sick or I was becoming sick. None of that. So I'm also what? I'll be 7 weeks pregnant tomorrow. But what had happened is I woke up yesterday morning and I woke up. It wasn't like oh, your normal wake up. I woke up, don't mind my hair. I woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning, which I've kind of been waking up that time because I've been going to bed like 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Excuse me. And because the doctors told when I called my OB office, I told them like I had severe vomiting like nonstop. And so they told me to get some insomnia pill, like some sleeping pills and vitamin B6 and take those. But they was not helping. I was still vomiting nonstop. So my rectum started, my like diaphragm started hurting because I was like throwing up constantly. But let's get back. So yesterday I woke up sick. My chest was hurting a lot, like a lot. And so a lot of times we live in like COVID university right now. So you be like, oh, I hope I don't go COVID. My husband like, how would you have get it? Which makes sense because we really don't go anywhere other than church. And that's just one day a week. So I as the day went on, my chest pain got worse. My chest became very tight. Now I am asthmatic, but no, it's been under control. So I would say my asthma been under control since my last pregnancy with Ivory. Since my last pregnancy, because my last flare up and attacks that I had with my asthma was during pregnancy. So basically, pregnancy can even make, if you are asthmatic, from what they were explaining to me yesterday, it can make it worse. You can stay the same, you can get worse, or it can make it better. In my case, it seemed to is making it worse. Since I told them the last time I had a asthma attack, had to use inhalers or any of that, was Ivory B3. So basically almost 3 years ago. I haven't had a flare up or anything. Today I feel worse, just because I feel a lot of the pain in my back. It still hurt to breathe in the front, but it's really like in the back area. It hurts really bad. It hurts to talk because you're using, you got to move air through your lungs, and when your lungs are really tight, and with asthma, a lot of times, like with a normal person lung, they'll have this much. With an asthmatic person, they'll have like this much. So right now, my body is working harder to move oxygen through the blood. And so when you're in a flare-up, your body is working even harder to do that. So I had Sean called, or I had told him that I think we would need to go to the hospital. I didn't want him to leave work because he just left work yesterday and he took a Reese to make sure Reese didn't have COVID. Because I figured like I got some for Reese, but normally like when I get a cold or something, the only thing with asthma is that you never see it coming. Like with me, I have never seen it coming. Like you have never seen where you're in the worst state. It can just go, you can go from 0 to 100 in no time with asthma. And so that's some of the things that have been taken credit, because I haven't been to an asthma allergy specialist in a long time, because I felt that I was, good. Everything's been under control. There's been no problems. We was not planning to have any more kids or get pregnant. I've been pretty good. So I just woke up like this. I sound worser because I said like, as I said, like I feel like my lungs are working harder today, even though I'm on like inhalers, and I still haven't gotten my prescriptions from the pharmacy because we left the hospital around almost 7 o'clock yesterday, so last night. But so because I'm pregnant, they couldn't do x-rays, so that was the thing, they didn't want to do x-rays. But most likely, you know, the sound of the color of the mucus, the sound of the lungs, they said my heart rate was high, which my heart rate is normally never high. Like, I always have, like, I'm always trying to have good blood pressure, good heart rate, but yesterday everything was up, very elevated. And that could be because you're in pain. Like, a lot of stuff can be elevated when you're in pain. And so, she had told me, like, I need to, like, get some, like, honey or, like, something that can soothe down my throat. Because that was one of the first things I woke up this morning yesterday morning is my throat was on fire. Like, it was like I constantly needed to drink hot liquids. I constantly needed to be eating something cold. And that was at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was up. I was drinking. I had at least 3 cups of hot lemon water. I tried teas, but I still was vomiting a lot. The thing is, I was throwing up constantly. So I think because my throat was sore just from vomiting. So, and I think that's where a lot of the swollenness is from. It's just vomiting non-stop. And yeah. And so yesterday I did have to make a choice to get a CT scan, even though at first they were like, yeah, because you're pregnant, we wouldn't do it. But because they had tested me for, because everything was so fast, they tested me for possible blood clots. And so my blood work had came back positive that I could, I can have, you don't mean you do have it, but I can have blood clots in my chest, in my lungs. And so she came back. Sorry guys, my memory card had full. So as I was saying, like I was explaining that because blood clots run in our family, like my mom and my grandma gets them really bad. But my blood work had came back positive for blood clots. So they had came back in and explained that even though I'm pregnant, they will recommend me getting a CT scan, because knowing that I came in with, I was not sick previous, I had like no build up to it, just I instantly woke up with chest pain. It was really hard to breathe. It was really I sounded horrible. Like yesterday I had a really bad cough. And so they were like weighing the pros and cons, and then that's kind of what I had to do. It's like, yeah, I can probably miscarry, and I can probably have something wrong when the baby is born. But then I also can go home and I cannot wake up because there's an issue. We need to figure out what's going on. So I made the decision that I thought was best, which is, I guess, scary, because knowing that your chest is feeling like that, and is even after you're getting multiple breathing treatments, you know, all that stuff. My stomach was settled once they gave me the medicine for nausea, but I wasn't hungry. I was dehydrated, and I'm like, thinking like I can go home and not wake up, because there can be a blood clot. And so it's like either way, I wouldn't welcome life into this world. So I made what I thought was the best decision, and that was to get the CT scan to just rule out everything, since knowing that it's a family history. So you kind of got, like, you can't ignore family history. My mom and grandma gets them really bad. And so we did that, and then so she came back, the test came back negative. I didn't have a blood clot, but she did not like the sound of my lungs. So her recommendations, they finished giving me more Buterol. They sent me home with a lot of meds, and I have to make a lot of appointments. So I have to go, because I got the CT scan, I have to go within the next 2 days to my OB. I have to go and see a lung doctor, and I need to try, what else? I also have to go see my primary care doctor. We need to get my lungs under control, because even with pregnancy, as you get farther along, it becomes harder to breathe. Your lungs gotta work harder. She said like if I come back like today, my front doesn't hurt as bad, but the breathing from like the side of my back or talking is on fire. I feel a little bit better because I just got out of the shower for the last 30 to 40 minutes because it was helping breathe. It was help easing the pain of breathing, and I figure that's some issues. And then we have to go over that my pregnancy may trigger a lot more attacks to come out of nowhere, and so we kind of have to get me on meds to try to get it under control, to stay in control, especially since allergy season is approaching. Spring is like in a few days. It's May 20th. And so yeah, and I was kind of like, because I'm not due to go back until next week. It'll be 7 weeks tomorrow, so I'm not due to go back for my 8-week appointment until next week. So I'm just going to try to see if I can get all my appointments this week, so I won't have to turn around and go back next week again on top of that, because nobody wants to be out the house like that. But my HCC levels are like 7,000, like in the 7,000s. So that from the last time that I had my HCC levels, I was like 1,400 or 800 or something. So they're definitely like tripling me. And so that's what's going on. I'm probably going to stop talking and take a break because my chest continues to hurt. Oh, and I also have to start tomorrow. I need to start making appointments because some clinics I've never been to. I already have my OB, but I don't have a lung doctor, and then also I need to figure out where is my doctor's office moved. So I haven't been there since it moved, so I need to figure out where it moved to. And yeah, and then I need to constantly they gave me meds for upper respiratory infection, which can happen a lot of times. I have my inhaler. They gave me medicine so I can be able to keep liquids and food down because I was very dehydrated, but not because I was not drinking. I was just puking up everything. And look, my arm, I don't know if you can see, it bruised really bad. It bruised and swelled, so it's like a lump. Because I think he said it's like a tendon here or whatever. But he hit it, so he missed because he couldn't get it up here. But so when they were bringing in everything, they were ready to hook up for my IV meds and all that. He was just telling the lady that he didn't get the IV in and that I seemed very dehydrated. And so she she stuck me, but she didn't find it either. So she kind of had to like move around for like a minute or two, and then until she found it. And then because they took like 8 tubes of blood, so that sucked. My arm is really like purple and bruised and really sore. So I'm probably going to put like a heating pad on it or something, or like a warm towel to help with the bruising. And so yeah, that's about it. The kids are chilling. Ivy woke up sick, so I already had one sick kid, but Ivy woke up sick. So I'm trying to do my best today of taking care of all of us. But they're just in there playing the game right now. They just left out, but I'm just tired, so I'm gonna stop talking because my lungs are starting to hurt. So I'm probably going to get like on a nebulizer to help my lungs a little bit more right in the minute. But yeah, that's what